All-Star Wrestling, unfortunately, Scotty Sweatervest is still missing in action, but you do not have to fret because you're now dealing with the very best in broadcast journalism, Mr. Beefy Goodness Vance Nevada, a man with a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge about professional wrestling, past, present, and even future. And I'm very excited. I've got a special guest here joining me this week. We're going to do an in-depth interview, some real broadcast journalism. Sweatervest, you better be taking notes wherever you are. I am very pleased to be joined this week by a 5-time All-Star Wrestling Trans-Canada champion, an All-Star Wrestling Hall of Famer, a Lifetime Award Achievement winner with the Edmonton Combative Sports Commission, a 27-year veteran of wrestling, and an all-around good guy, Mr. Beefy Goodness Vance Nevada. It is my great pleasure to be here, and I'm certainly glad to be sharing some screen time with a true professional. Now, Vance, can you tell me, we've been asking this question of a lot of people, who are the up-and-comers in All-Star Wrestling? You know, in terms of the talent that's coming up in the roster, I've heard other wrestlers commenting on who they think the next superstar would be, and, let's keep an eye on this guy, let's keep an eye on that guy. You know what, I've given that question a lot of thought too, and sure, there's a lot of great talent in All-Star Wrestling, and it starts right here with Vance Nevada. I'm not going to come out here and use my valuable airtime to pump someone else's tires. I'm not going to talk about girly curls Goss or sparkly sunglasses Gaston. I don't have time. Let's talk about Vance Nevada. Yeah, sure, there's a long history in my career. There's a big story to tell, but there's still a lot more of that story to tell. So to discount me and start talking about who's next in line, that's a waste of time. In my estimation, you've got a lot of guys here who are nothing more than a butt puddle. A butt puddle? Can you explain? Butt puddle? You know what? Typically you might say drizzling shits, but I'm not sure if we're allowed to say that on the air. So I'm trying to be friendly. Now, when it comes to the Trans-Canada Championship, and certainly there's going to be a lot of competitors gunning for that championship, how do you stack up against that field? The Trans-Canada Championship. You know what, I think if you were a wrestler active in All-Star Wrestling, everybody should be gunning for the Trans-Canada Championship, because when you're the Trans-Canada champion, that means you're the best of the best. So how do I stack up in the competition? Well, let me tell you something. I'm not a guy who holds a national title and then never leaves his hometown. How can you be Canadian champion of Vancouver? When I was Trans-Canada champion, I took that belt and I wore that with a badge of honor. And I made that championship mean something, and I defended that championship in British Columbia, in Alberta, in Saskatchewan, in Manitoba. We went across the coast. It was truly a Trans-Canada title. And so how do I stack up to the competition? Well, I could sit here and I could take a look at, you've got a lot of great guys there. You've got Adam Ryder. Technically, no one can touch him. Jordy Taylor is a man after my very own black heart, and I can dig where he's coming from. You got Jude Dawkins. He's a wild man, and I can tell you, I don't mess with animals under any circumstance. But you're looking at me, someone that has already been to the top of the mountain. I've been there 5 times. To get there again, if you're a betting man, you better be betting on me. Well, wrestling fans, that is some very great and deep insights brought to you by a true broadcast professional, Vance Nevada. I'd like to thank my special guest this week, Vance Nevada, for joining me. We'll see you again down the road. This is Vance Nevada signing off for All-Star Wrestling.